I'm Johnny Vegas, and you're listening to KopTalk with Dunk. And all you other Liverpool sites, just stop embarrassing yourself, all right?
Yo, what up? This your boy Smooth, straight from New York. You're listening to KopTalk Podcast. Remember this, you never walk alone, but if you fuck with us, you walk with a limp.
Good morning. It's turned out nice again. Hey, how's it going, guys? You all right? It's Tuesday, the 14th of March, 2023. And you're listening to the KopTalk Podcast. That's right, in association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in real football clubs. That's right. How's it going, guys? You all right? Yeah? What we're going to talk about? Well, excuse me, I've just uploaded a video to YouTube, to KopTalk.tv, which is talking about Julian Ward. Obviously, there's been suggestions that he's close to agreeing a deal with Ajax. I'm not sure how true that is. So I was basically talking about, the need to get a new, sporting director or whatever. Basically, someone to sort all the transfers out. We're going to be in April soon. The transfer window's fast approaching. And we're told that his decision to leave the club is not going to affect, anything. It's 100% business as usual, but I'm not so sure about that. You know what I mean? And I think that we haven't appointed a new sporting director yet, or someone, whatever you want to call them, because of the, uncertainty, instability at the club surrounding, the ownership situation. Because if you really, being offered a job to come in a senior position like that, I'm not so sure it's a good time to do it if there is a takeover. You know what I mean? Because then you might lose your job. So I'm sure any potential candidates are saying, what's happening? I would love the job, but what is happening? Anyway, it was all about Julian Ward, takeover, transfers, that kind of thing. So if you want to watch that video, just pop along to youtube.com/KopTalk or www.koptalk.tv. So I think we can avoid all the, what do you call it? Let me just adjust my chair. I think we can avoid all the ownership situation and that for once today. There's nothing really new for us to consider or to examine. So we're going to do some, good old-fashioned rumour mongering. We're going to have a look and see what's been in the media over the last 24 hours, and then we'll take a look at today's transfer gossip from the mainstream media affecting all clubs. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this midfielder, Anton Stach. Apparently, he is reportedly open to a move, a mid-links with Liverpool, it says here. He's open to a move, a mid-links with Liverpool. We were credited with an interest in signing him. We were linked with him last month, with the likes of Tottenham, Newcastle and West Ham also said to have an interest. Now, Sky Germany are claiming that he may leave Mainz, or is it how you pronounce that? In Germany in search of a new club in the summer. It's claimed that the midfielder wants to push himself with a view to getting into the Germany squad for Euro 2024. Now, according to the Times, Liverpool are in the mix for Barcelona starlet Gavi. Ourselves and Manchester City are, quote, on alert and are keeping tabs on the situation with Gavi's future. This is due to reports from Spain that say La Liga have overturned the teenager's registration as a Barcelona player. Relevo are reporting that Gavi's registration has been overturned due to Barca apparently not filing their appeal on time before the deadline, and that he would no longer be a first-team player at the club. Should this remain the case, that means one of the most talented young players in the world would be a free agent at the end of the season. Now, a report in ESPN claims that Barcelona have denied that the club missed the deadline for Gavi's registration and do not expect him to leave as a free agent at all. Barcelona are also set to appeal the decision. And it makes me laugh because when I read this bit here where it says, should this remain the case? Do you know what? Who thinks that will remain the case? Anything to do with Real Madrid and Barcelona in La Liga, in my opinion, is just corrupt as anything. Honestly, guys. So I cannot see that happening. So I would be very surprised about that. I'd like to see who the journalist was at the Times. Tom Allnut. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense that Liverpool would, of course, be interested in a player like that becoming available. Of course, especially on a free. But I think Barcelona will not allow that to happen. So, right, let's move on. That chuckled me. Right, so what else have we got? Rio Ferdinand fires Liverpool dig and takes aim at Jamie Carragher and Graham Souness. So he's laid into the two television pundits after that 7-0 thrashing of Man United's defeat. After the thrashing of that 7-0 win at Manchester United, and then obviously we had the game at Bournemouth. He's chipped in, and he was talking on BBC Radio 5 Live, I think that was, about Liverpool's defeat to the Cherries, and he said, that is a small club mentality. That screams small club. The way Souness and Carragher were celebrating, the way they were trying to antagonise the guys, basically Roy Keane and Gary Neville, and then their team goes and does that at the weekend, they should be ashamed of themselves. Why don't you wind your neck in here? He does my head in him. Do you know what I mean? He's an ugly fucker, isn't he, guys? I mean, I'm not being funny here. I mean, I'm not saying I'm anything special, but I'm all right. I do all right with the chicks, you know what I'm saying? More chicks than Bernard Matthews and Colonel Sanders put together. They're both dead. He's a Premier League, or he was a Premier League footballer, right? Do you know what I mean? And footballers are supposed to be good looking out there. People like me are not supposed to be good looking. He's not good looking, that fucker, is he? All right, I'm biting. Just wind your fucking neck in. Yeah, get on that tits. Right, let's have a look. What else can we talk about? Obviously, Thiago has put that video of himself working out in the gym, which terrified me, by the way. I mean, he does look a fit fucker, doesn't he? I was looking at them things. He's got his arms out, stretched out ahead of him, and he's leaning, like his body weight. His feet are still, and he's leaning forward, stretching forward, and using his hands out right. And all I kept thinking yesterday when I saw that video is, what would happen if I did that? Would they just go right down to the floor and my hands would be... Anyway, it showed a video of himself completing a gym exercise as he continues to work his way back to fitness. And offering an update on Why am I getting a message? That's unusual. Let's have a look. Guys, this is really important. One day I'll be able to explain why. There we go. Offering an update. This episode's a car crash, isn't it? Offering an update on Thiago, Joe Gomez and Luis Diaz ahead of Saturday's trip to Bournemouth. Jurgen Klopp said, different stages, I would say. Joey might be able to train at the beginning of the week. Luis, I hope, during next week. After the international break, then obviously for both, it's possible. Thiago, we will see. None of them trained yet with the team, and then we will see how that develops in the next couple of weeks, and we will know more. Mohamed Salah's villa in Egypt was burgled at the weekend, according to reports in his homeland. A relative of the Liverpool forward is said to have noticed a window open in the property on Saturday evening, prompting him to contact authorities over fears of a break-in. His fears were later confirmed to be true, with Egyptian outlet Al Haram stating a force from the Cairo Investigation Department were soon on the scene to assess the state of the property. Officials have since told the Associated Press cable TV receivers were stolen by those who gained access to the villa, which is situated 30 miles east of Cairo city centre. Right, listen, those of you that have followed my content for a long, long time know my thoughts on it when these Premier League footballers get robbed. These guys are multi-millionaires. My house is like Fort Knox. That doesn't mean that it can't get screwed, right? And whenever I go away on holiday, if I go away, right, let's just say, if I go away on holiday and there's no one there would be nobody in the property, then I always get someone to stay in the house. Always. Someone that I know. I'll say, will you stay in my house? I'm going away for a week or two. And I'll bung them some money, right? And I can't afford to do that, but that's what I do. Because for me, if I was to lose my computers and things, then KopTalk would be done, wouldn't it? I know you can turn around and say, yeah, but house insurance, it takes a long time to get things like that sorted. Have you got receipts? Yeah, right, of course I've got receipts. So to me, it's just easier to pay someone to be in my house, right? Now, I have a monitored alarm. which is connected to the alarm company here, which has cameras in most, access points. Well, I would imagine all. I'm sure you don't need to know all of that, but basically, if you can climb through a window, there's a camera there. I have CCTV outside my house. I have everything, right? And if anyone triggers the alarm company can look on the cameras, and the police can be here, whatever. Like that. That's if I'm popping out for a beer or something, right? I don't pay someone to stay in my house then. But these Premier League footballers, they are absolutely multi-millionaires. If I had their wealth, I'm not joking. I would employ someone. I would create job positions for someone. You don't have to get a company. I would just employ someone and say, right, I want you to, look after my premises or whatever. Because them guys are high profile. I'm not high profile, but I still take my own risks. And I never understand it when Premier League footballers and that get robbed. Maybe I've got the wrong attitude. Some people say, you should be able to leave your... Yeah, you should be able to. But we're living in the real world. And these people are worth a lot of money. And people are going to think, well, they've got jewellery, they've got this and that. I don't know. And especially if I was leaving my family, sometimes we've had incidents, haven't we, where footballers have been playing football and maybe their partner's been robbed or scared, or the kids. Nah, I'm having security for my family and for my property. So I never understand these fucking footballers, honestly. Thick as two short planks. What else have I got for you today? Obviously, there's that Julian Ward. There's a little bit about that, saying that they're, about Ajax, and that they're still looking for a replacement, permanent replacement for Mark Overmars, who left his post a year ago after admitting to sending inappropriate messages to female colleagues at the club. Yeah, I'd like to read about that. You can't say it out now, can I? I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot... I don't know. I think many years ago, maybe it's wrong, but I used to banter. You used to be able to banter with chicks and that, didn't you, and stuff. And now you can't fucking say boo. I'm guessing years ago. I've never worked in an office environment, but I know people that have. And, they'll say to me, we always get fellas coming up behind you, bantering, smacking you on your ass, going, it's not bad that, Deborah, You're not allowed to do that anymore, which I guess is acceptable, but... You just can't say. I don't think I could. I wouldn't last 5 fucking minutes in any of these companies, mate. Not because I want to go around smacking lasses up their ass, but just with banter. Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what Mark Overmars has been up to. He's obviously leaving Liverpool at the end of the campaign. And apparently, as a Dutch outlet, AB has claimed that Ward has reached contract negotiations with Ajax and is in pole position to be appointed in the coming weeks. Fenway Sports Group partner Gerry Cardinale says that one of the biggest regrets in his career was not purchasing Liverpool in 2008. Now, Cardinale, he's the founder of FSG's third largest shareholder, Redbird Capital Partners. He'd been working for a US investment bank at the time. It was Goldman Sachs, right? And he'd urged them to make a move on a controlling stake in Liverpool at the time, which would have had a valuation of $350 million. At the time, obviously, we had George Letton Tomics, and they were, trying to... Well, there was all sorts going on. You know what was happening. There was all sorts trying to get into the club. We had Amanda Stavely, Dubai International Capital, all sorts of people. And who is it? Buggerlugs, Gerry Cardinale, was caught up in all of that. But no Goldman deal materialised. It says here, with former CEO Lloyd Blankfein blocking the deal after Cardinale had managed to sway the initial opinion of the Goldman Investment Committee through getting the buy-in of the ownership groups of both New York Yankees, where Cardinale had a strong connection, through helping to set up the regional sport TV station Yes Network, and the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. It's a long time ago, 2008, but it's very interesting that Gerry Cardinale's commenting about that. And saying it was one of the biggest regrets of his career, just with Redbird and that link with FSG, and could they now increase their stakeholding in FSG to help Liverpool, if you like? Well, they won't do it to help Liverpool, but it would help us, I guess, to some extent maybe, because the ownership would have no excuse then but to invest significantly more in the summer. So, although that is not directly relating to the current situation, I think it's quite interesting, that, to be honest with you. I'm just reading some of his quotes. It does say here, Redbird, who could increase their equity in FSG in the future, are understood not to be part of the investment search that FSG are currently going through with Liverpool. With Redbird's football focus on both Toulouse and securing a new stadium for AC Milan moving forward. But there have been linked with, there has been suggestions. It's the Liverpool Echo saying that, and Dave Powell, who is very pro FSG. Apparently, that's what people tell me. So, yeah, interesting. I still think it's interesting. So, anything else for you? Oh, Lallana, do you remember him? God, he was fucking useless. Well, anyway, he signed a new contract with Brighton and Hove Albion, which runs until the summer of 2024. How fucking great is that? RB Leipzig defender Josko Gvardiol, he's basically saying he's going to make a decision about his future at the end of the season. He's a Croatian centre-back. He's been linked with a number of major European sides. He raised his reputation apparently at the World Cup in Qatar. Liverpool have been checked with him, name checked with him as a possible destination. That's why that's why this has been flagged up. Anyway, he's provided a comment. He was speaking to UEFA.com, I think, and he said, ambitions, well, I don't really know. I'm here right now, and we have a lot of work to do. There's the Bundesliga, and we're also playing in the Champions League and competing in the German Cup. So it's important for me to be as successful as possible this season. Then when the season is over, I can think about what and how to proceed. Stuart Downing has commented on Stefan Bajcetic. He says you can't rely on him as an 18-year-old to play every game. As good as he's been, I think he's been really, really good. He's probably given Klopp food for thought going forward. In terms of his future, I think he's one that could play in the squad. Right, thanks for that, Stu. Appreciate that, mate. So we have the... excuse that. Bournemouth right back Adam Smith believes it was justice that Mo Salah didn't score his penalty. He said it's just justice, honestly. It's what should have happened. They didn't deserve to score that, so it's nice that he missed it. You can shut your mouth, you knob jockey. Real Madrid captain Karim Benzema, it depends what commentary you're listening to, is a doubt for the Champions League clash with us on Wednesday. Obviously, we've got that, I was going to say, to look forward to. But I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. When we beat United, I was like, fuck it, come on, we're going to go and do it. And then we played Bournemouth. It's funny because when we beat United 7-0, so many of you guys said to me, you watch, don't we lose 1-0 now at Bournemouth. Okay. Right. How long have we been recording? Too long. Let's have a look at today's mainstream transfer speculation. So this is coming from Spain, okay? The publication AS. A Real Madrid representative recently visited Germany to meet Jude Bellingham and his family after making Borussia Dortmund's England midfielder 19 their priority target for next summer. Sport 1 via Sport, Spain again. Real Madrid are willing to pay Dortmund €100 million, which is £88 million for Bellingham, plus €40 million, which is $35 million in add-ons. ESPN, Manchester United will not risk a protracted pursuit of Tottenham and England striker Harry Kane in the summer, with the prospect of dealing with the Spurs chairman Daniel Levy, meaning they are focusing on alternative options, including Napoli's Nigeria striker Victor Osimhen, 24, and Juventus and Serbia striker Dusan Vlahovic, 23. That's ESPN. That Dusan Vlahovic, we need to see what's going on with him, because he was heavily linked with us at one point. Do you remember? Could be available. I'm not sure that. I don't know. What you guys think about that, but that just flagged up. So I think we used to speak about him quite a bit on here, didn't we? The Athletic say Tottenham have no intention of selling Kane this summer, and when they said look to agree a new contract with the England captain. Calcio Mercato, Italy, obviously. Arsenal, Chelsea and Newcastle United are interested in Barcelona's 26-year-old Brazil forward, Rafinha. Football Insider, Saudi Arabian and Major League Soccer teams are considering a move for England midfielder Jesse Lingard when the 30-year-old Nottingham Forest contract expires at the end of the season. Gazzetta dello Sport, Juventus could cancel 29-year-old France midfielder Paul Pogba's contract this summer, just a year after he returned to the club from Manchester United. Football Insider said that Christopher Nkunku will be a Chelsea player next season after Blues reached a full agreement with Leipzig to sign the 25-year-old France forward. TYC Sports say Tottenham are interested in Aston Villa's Emiliano Martinez and may make an offer for the Argentina goalkeeper 30 in the coming weeks. Here's a name we've not heard for a while, guys, and this is Sport in Spain. La Liga president Javier Tebas says he wants to see PSG's France forward Kylian Mbappe, 24, play for Real Madrid. The Athletic say Brazil forward Neymar, 31, is not looking to leave PSG as he wants to finish his career with the French club. Football Insider, I don't like reading from Football Insider, but I have to let you make your own decisions on things. But Manchester United could make another move this summer for one of their long-term targets, Inter Milan's Netherlands defender Denzel Dumfries, 26. The Manchester Evening News say United are also planning to let Uruguay winger Facundo Pellistri, 21, go out on loan next season. Mundo Deportivo, former Germany midfielder Toni Kroos, 33, has decided to spend at least one more season with Real Madrid. Oh, that's very nice of him, isn't it? The Mail say Ivory Coast winger Wilfried Zaha, whose contract at Palace runs out in the summer, has been offered a £9 million a season deal by Saudi Arabian side Al Ittihad. That was the Mail, by the way. I don't know if I told you that. Would you take him? Free? There's a lot of frees available this summer, I think, and I think Liverpool will be sniffing around a lot of them. West Ham are set to challenge Leipzig and Atletico Madrid for the signing of Norwich City's Brazilian midfielder Gabriel Sara, 23, this summer. That's Football Insider. Another shitty outlet is 90 Min. And they say West Ham are also leading the chase for Bournemouth Zimbabwe left-back Jordan Zemurura, 23, who was dropped at the weekend over his contract situation. The Telegraph, Arsenal yet to give up hope of keeping Ethan Nwaneri amid significant interest from Man City and Chelsea in the 15-year-old English midfielder. Calcio Mercato say Borussia Dortmund have decided to try to sell Belgian defender Thomas Meunier this summer, despite the 31-year-old having one more year on his contract. AS in Spain again, former Real Madrid striker Raul, who is currently the club's reserve team coach, has established himself as a serious contender to replace Carlo Ancelotti as first team boss when the Italian's current contract ends in 2024. I find that interesting. Telegraph, all players in the West Ham squad face significant pay cuts if the club is relegated from the Premier League this season. And finally, the Mail say Leicester have also inserted relegation wage reduction clauses into the contracts of their most recent signings. But I was about that then. Anything interesting on the members' website today? KopTalk members, we've got the Real Madrid versus Liverpool match thread underway. We've got a nice little thread there called Squad Overhaul. We have updates on the Jude Bellingham thread in the scouting department. And the guys are in the chat room, or the shout box as we call it, talking about who's running our transfer business for the upcoming summer. If Ward is busy discussing terms with Ajax to move on. www.koptalk.com, the membership option. I think it's on the far right. I would love you to join the members website, because you would really be helping a brother out. Honestly, guys, you really would. So talking about people that really help me out, we're going to give a shout out to the squad, the people that support this podcast, and you can do that by going to KopTalkPodcast.com, and for the cost of a coffee once a month, you can have all the adverts removed. You can access, the restricted or private episodes I do sometimes, which are usually ones that I want, a quiet life, and I don't want what I'm saying to be too public. It could be juicy news, but sometimes it's, like I've heard this and blah blah blah, or it might be an opinion. I don't know. But if you see a private episode and you'd like to access all of them, then you can, if you support the podcast, then you obviously get the ads removed and get access to those. And to do that, you just go to KopTalkPodcast.com. Or if you become a KopTalk VIP member, which I mentioned a second ago, you do get access to the extra episodes on the members' website and the extra episodes from KopTalk TV as well. The VIP membership's the best thing, but I am going to say that because it's the most helpful. So thank you to those of you in the old legacy tier, the fan tier. That's no longer available. I do appreciate you guys clinging on to that offer. But yeah, I'd like to thank the supporters. We've got Wayne Brown, Tom Brown. We've got TG, Simon Digweed, Mark Bingley. We've got Jimmy Digret, Jamie motherfucking Gilmore. We've got Ari, Hamza, Glyn Taylor, Craig Alford, Clint. We've got Aaron as well on there. Plus, we've got James Braid and Liam Buckland. We have our legends, Tyler Dean Williams, Paul MC, Matt Meeker, James Lee, Jack Wood, Jack Rudgley, Big Wave Dave, Andrew Evans. And then we have our royalty. We've got 4 troopers up there. Our royalty that really help as well. They're Michael Couchman, John Watts, which is Watty. Good to see him on the stream at the weekend. We've got David Sutcliffe and, of course, Adam Naylor, who runs a YouTube channel about Liverpool Football Club, which you should go and take a look at because he's the only Liverpool YouTuber that I watch. And I like him. He's a good kid. So, www.KopTalkPodcast.com if you want to help a brother out. Or you can go to the main site and get a VIP membership. It would be fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say. But if you're not in a position to do that, if you are not in a position to do that and you're thinking, Dunk, I would do that if I could, brother. I would do it if I fucking could. Well, and you can't. Well, why don't you email me? You can email me your thoughts, podcast@koptalk.com. And I can read them out on the next episode, which I intend to do tomorrow. Intention in doing 2 different things, but it might be worth a look tomorrow. So let me just go back to that list because I didn't see. Oh yeah, he's there, Jack Rudgley. I don't know if I mentioned him there. I didn't know Jack had jumped up the tiers. That's nice to see, Jack. Jack, thank you very much, my friend. He's jumped up to the where is he? He jumped up to the legends from the legacy tier. That's nice. That's put a little smile on my face. I missed that a few days ago, so I'm glad I just seen that. Thank you, Mr. Jack Rudgley. I appreciate that, Jack. He's been with us a long time. Jack, how long has he been with us? Excuse me, Jack Rudgley, 2020. He first started supporting this podcast almost 3 years ago. So that's very kind of him. I love that. I love all you guys that support the podcast. But yeah, if you don't, you can send an email. But remember, my priorities are with the people that love me. Just say. I'm not sure we need to go back through anything else today, guys. Go and have a look on YouTube, that video maybe. Hope you've enjoyed the episode today. It's a struggle for me today, this episode, to be honest with you, because there's not a lot to talk about. The emails always help. But it's been very difficult to have consistency with the podcast recently, because of the takeover situation. It's always been about that, or the lack of a takeover, should I say. So anyway, I do appreciate you listening, guys. Honestly, I banter with you, whether you're a supporter or not. You're listening, and that'll do for me. But if you want to support the podcast, it's KopTalkPodcast.com. All right, guys, I'm going to get off. I'll speak to you hopefully tomorrow. If not, we'll certainly regroup later in the week. Okay, guys, take care.